Got a fever, and former Iowa star Caitlyn Clark continues her ascension as one of the top figures in women's basketball and in sports. Time magazine named Clark as their athlete of the year.
This is maybe the least surprising announcement of the year, that the athlete of the year for Time magazine.
She was too contentious for Team USA's Olympic selection and too young for the greatest honor of her time.
League full of women, a league full of Black women, a league full of queer Black women. And so there was so much stacked against the league. But this year, the talent was so undeniable that it has brought new sports fans to the league. And now they're basketball enthusiasts. They're women's basketball enthusiasts, WNBA enthusiasts. And so now there's a new standard for what it looks like to have.
Did you know that the most decorated NCAA basketball scorer wasn't even chosen for the Olympics? At barely 22, Caitlyn Clark broke all records, broke every ceiling, and permanently altered women's basketball. This is her story.
I mean, I believe the Mystics and the Fever game was the most viewed WNBA game ever in history, single game attendance. So just so many things have happened in such a short amount of time on the back of Caitlyn Clark. But I love the fact that she's also given credit where credit is due, because as we know, that was a big conversation when she entered the league. And she said, look, there's enough love to go around. And if you're not a fan of Caitlyn Clark, I don't see how you read this article.
Let's go back to the beginning of 2024. When thousands of people were watching Caitlyn Clark's every move at the University of Iowa on a freezing February night. During her final season with the Hawkeyes, Clark accomplished something remarkable. She broke Pete Merrick's long-standing NCAA Division I scoring record. Many people believed her accomplishment would last forever, but it's only the beginning of her tale. Not only was Clark breaking records, but she was also shattering them with style, frequently pulling up from the logo and making shots that defied conventional basketball wisdom. Every game became an event, forcing venues to upgrade to larger arenas just to accommodate the crowds desperate to witness history.
I don't know if you saw, Indiana Fever yesterday posted this clip of Caitlyn, and the caption was just her accolades, and it took 5 minutes to read. And I'm like, girl, do you want to chill at all?
The figures reveal an amazing tale. 3,951 career points, an average of 31.6 points per game, and an incredible 1,144 assists. But what really sets Clark apart is that she didn't simply concentrate on scoring. Her passing skills and court vision were equally innovative, improving her teammates with each play. She made the Iowa Hawkeyes a must-watch show, which caused them to retreat. NCAA championship games.
Right? Like maybe in any other year, you give this to Simone Biles, because I think her comeback in the Olympics was amazing. I mean, people pretty much did the postscript on her career. And after what happened to her in Tokyo, like, it's incredible. However, I mean, we've never, ever seen somebody in this way capture an audience, capture a new audience, and be able to absolutely attribute.
The 2024 NCAA championship game garnered an astounding 18.7 million viewers, topping several NBA and NFL games. Clark was no longer just a basketball star. Her games were selling out arenas and setting watching records. Clark's ability to score from anywhere on the court is not the only thing that makes her stand out. During practices, she would frequently stay late honing her signature step-back three-pointer. Her coaches would later reveal that she would frequently arrive hours before scheduled practice times, working on her game when most people were still asleep. Her influence on college basketball extended beyond her own accomplishments. Ticket prices increased, jersey sales surged, and young girls throughout began imitating her playing style. The road wasn't always easy, though, as critics questioned Clark's shot selection, defensive skills, and whether her game would translate to the professional level. In her final regular season game at Iowa, she scored a career-high 49 points with 13 assists, a perfect exclamation point to her college career. What makes these accomplishments even more remarkable is how Clark handled the pressure with every camera following her moves. Basketball camps reported record enrollments, with young players wanting to learn how to shoot like Caitlyn. By the time the WNBA draft came around, Clark had changed from a gifted player to a basketball icon. She had rewritten the record books, but more significantly, she had rewritten what was possible in women's basketball. Her college career wasn't just about personal accomplishments, it was about elevating an entire sport to unprecedented heights. When the Indiana Fever selected Caitlyn Clark as the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, expectations were sky-high, but what happened next surpassed even the most optimistic predictions. The Fever, from her very first game, a team that hadn't qualified for the playoffs since 2016, was going to feel the full impact of the Clark effect. The Fever's home opener sold out minutes after tickets went unavailable, demonstrating that Clark's success in college wasn't an anomaly. The new standard, what's really amazing is how she turned every away game into a home court advantage, drawing crowds to arenas all across the nation to see her trademark logo shots. Let's discuss numbers since they provide an amazing narrative. In addition to leading the league in assists, 8.4 per game, Clark broke the record for most assists in a single season, 337 dimes. Consider that even as a rookie, she was already changing the course of WNBA history. But it wasn't just about quantity. Her flawless pick-and-roll executions, cross-court dimes, and no-look passes became immediate highlights. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about Clark's rookie season was how she made history in a number of different categories. As a rookie, she became the first player in WNBA history to achieve multiple triple-doubles. She drained 22 three-pointers, ranking second all-time for most threes in a single season, only 6 shy of Sabrina Ionesco's record. The Fever's performance was immediately and dramatically impacted by her accomplishing this accomplishment twice in her rookie season. The team went from being a bottom dweller to making its first postseason participation in 8 years, and home games were occasions when celebrities and sports figures frequently attended. Before she even played her first professional game, the team's merchandise sales skyrocketed, with Clark's jersey becoming the league's bestseller. However, what really makes Clark stand out is her ability to inspire everyone around her. Veteran players found new life in their games by feeding off her energy, and court vision rookie teammates developed faster learning from her professional approach to the game. Even opposing teams had to completely redesign their defensive strategies because of Clark had an unparalleled influence on the WNBA's prominence. Viewership for regular season games with the Fever increased by more than 200% over the previous year. Clark's highlights frequently went viral on social media, drawing in new fans to the sport. What's most remarkable is how she managed the strain of becoming the league's new face. Every game was closely watched, every shot was examined, but Clark remained composed and continued to give outstanding performances. Whether it was a regular season game or a pivotal playoff game near the end of the season, she handled every game with the same intensity. In addition to making the All-WNBA first team and winning Rookie of the Year, Clark completely changed the professional women's basketball landscape. She not only met but surpassed the high standards set for her, demonstrating that her skill could not only translate to the professional level but also revolutionize it. One of the most contentious sports issues of 2024 was the choice to exclude Caitlyn Clark from the Paris Olympics lineup. Let's examine how this contentious situation developed and what it meant for women's basketball. The Olympic team selection process has always been difficult, balancing EXP experience with emerging talent Team USA, who at that point had a proven formula after winning 7 gold medals in a row. Veterans who had been in the program for a long time usually received priority, but Clark's situation was unique since she was a phenomenon who had completely changed the women's basketball scene. The numbers said it all. In addition to breaking the all-time NBA score record and selling out arenas on her own, Clark was attracting more spectators to college games than some NBA games. From a commercial perspective, leaving her off the roster appeared like a historic missed opportunity because she had a larger social media following than many Olympic team members put together. The decision's detractors highlighted the possible imagine the global influence with millions of people watching from around the world. Clark pulling up from the logo in Paris may have had a revolutionary effect on women's basketball worldwide. She plays with long-range shots and dazzling court passes. Supporters of the decision, however, had good arguments. Vision might have demonstrated the development of women's basketball on the largest scale. The Olympic team's strong run of gold medals demonstrated that their method was effective. The controversy sparked a broader discussion about talent recognition in women's sports should demonstrate success. The chosen players had years of international experience and had proven themselves in the WNBA. They contended that Clark would have her time, perhaps at the 2026 FBA World Cup or the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. For weeks, discussions about Trump's possible influence and whether foreign experience is more important than current forum-dominated sports talk programs. NBA players and sports experts also offered their opinions, with the majority arguing that Clark's absence was a lost chance for basketball diplomacy. This anecdote is especially fascinating because of Clark's amazing response to the circumstance. When asked about the Olympic snub, Grace continually acknowledged her disappointment and showed respect for the chosen squad while concentrating on her inaugural WNBA season. Her reputation among supporters and other athletes was only improved by this responsible approach, as the Olympic competition itself demonstrated. Bittersweet Team USA did win their 8th straight gold medal, upholding their dynasty, but television ratings for women's basketball at the Olympics were lower than anticipated, leaving many to wonder what might have been with Clark on the roster. The what-if questions lingered long after the closing ceremony. Looking ahead, this controversy may ultimately benefit women's basketball in the long run because it sparked crucial conversations about selection criteria, striking a balance between experience and star power and the role of athletes in expanding